This week on Inside Oswego Speedway, it was a double feature weekend last Saturday night at the Steel Palace featuring the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series and the Novelis Super Modifieds. And one driver had a breakout evening behind the wheel of the Novelis Super Modified number 26. Plus, it was driver autograph night, the first of two for the coming season. Always a popular evening for drivers, fans, and teams. And all this and more next, coming up on Inside Oswego Speedway. Saturday night's action kicked off with the first driver autograph session of the season presented by the folks at Entergy. Of course, the next driver autograph session will come up on August 10th. These sessions on the front straightaway, a perfect way for fans in the grandstands and young fans as well to have the opportunity to come down and interact with the drivers of Oswego Speedway in both the Pathfinder Bank SBS and Novelis Super Modified divisions. All kinds of goodies on hand, coupons to restaurants, free ice cream, candy, and all. And you have a chance to say hi to your favorite race car driver. A lot of action on tap last Saturday, so we're going to get right into it with the remaining 20 laps of the June 1st Best Western Plus Quality Inn and Suites Pathfinder Bank SBS main event, which would see Dalton Doyle, Jeremy Pitcher, and Mike Bruce bring the field single file to the green flag on Saturday night. Remember, Anthony Lacerdo and Josh Kerr were leading this event back on the 1st of June until they got together on the front straightaway, bringing out the caution. And not much later, the rain would hit the racetrack, bringing an end to that event. Well, in this one, the action got started off hot and heavy early on as Jason Simmons tries to cut his way through the field, gets hung up onto the outside. Andrew Schartner, John Tesorario, and Mike Bond able to find their way through to the inside before Simmons can tuck back into line ahead of the number 24 of A.J. Burness. Dalton Doyle, looking for his second consecutive win of the season, was out in front, but contact further back between the 22 of Mike Bruce and the 14 of Pitcher. Pitcher would end up into the foam in the third turn. However, the caution had already waved in corner number 2 for an incident between Cameron Rowe and Timmy Garou. So with that said, Bruce and Pitcher would get their positions back on the speedway. Well, a lap after the restart, Bruce this time would make the inside move into corner number 1, and this time he made it by without contact, moving up into the second spot. Pitcher would slide to the high side, allowing J.J. Andrews in the Nice Price Auto Sales number 93 to make his way to the low side as well. Further back, Bond and Simmons and Tesorario would continue their three-car battle on the speedway as they try to chase down your defending track champion Craig Harris and Pitcher in the 14, Bond on the outside, able to hold off Simmons in number 98, then would look again at his teammate Tesorario down into corner number 3. This time he's able to make the move stick to the outside out of corner number 4. Bond gets the spot, will now tuck in behind Harris going into corner number 1 as Doyle continues to pull away in the 01 machine. Andrews, however, looking for that runner-up spot on Bruce into corner number 3, makes the move stick past halfway. However, once again, that caution flag would wave, this time for the rookie Scott Schaefer. In car number 76, he tags the foam in corner number 1. Once again, Bruce gets his spot back in the number 22 machine as he goes back to work on the back bumper of the 01 of Doyle. Meanwhile, further back, Bond down onto the inside of the 04 of Craig Harris. Bond working his way through the field in the 74, looking to gain valuable championship positions on the 13 of Russ Brown, who was mired further on back in the field. Wouldn't take long for Bond to catch up now behind the back of the 93 of Andrews and the 22 of Bruce. But once again, Doyle in that Labatt Blue Light, car number 01, was able to check away from the field, nearly a half straightaway advantage as they would head down into corner number 3 for the final time. Dalton Doyle, 2 career Pathfinder Bank SBS feature wins coming in back-to-back weeks. He is the first driver in 2013 to earn 2 feature event wins. Mike Bruce came home second, J.J. Andrews in third, Bond in fourth, rookie Jeremy Pitcher with his first top 5 of the 2013 season.
Man, I hate leading. You never know what's going on behind you. You never know where anybody is, how you're doing, and this is cool. Yeah, I just tried to stay as calm as possible and just focus on hitting my marks every lap, and the car got pretty loose, so it was a little bit of a handful through the center and off, but it was good enough to hold on to.
He's consistent. Doyle's always been a consistent driver. He's on. He ran a great line. I didn't really have a chance to get him. I was going to give him a little bump and run because he picks on me all the time for it, but I was never close enough. He ran a great race. He works his butt off for us, so congratulations to Doyle and his parents and everybody that works on their team. We worked out a lot of bugs this week in the shop, and that was kind of a longer practice session to figure out what we got for the next heat and feature. So hopefully we'll be a little better and pick up some speed as the sun goes down.
It was tough. I had a good car, and it was good. I was faster than Mikey, but he held the line. He got up one time and let me under, and the caution came out, and he got the spot back. I felt like I had something for him, and maybe Dalton, because the car was that good, but you can't race with somebody if you can't pass the guy in front of you. Just thanks, everybody. We're having a great time this year. Thanks, Jason, and everybody else, and Billy Whitaker for the new fire suit.
Good way to start up.
Rob Pullen would drive through the field for the DNS Landscaping Hard Charger Award, while Mike Bruce was your Nice Price Auto Sales up-and-comer. Mike Bond, the White's Car Care 4th Place Award, and Dalton Doyle, once again, your Sherwood Racing Wheels lap leader. Next on the docket would be the 50-lap Novelis Super Modified feature from Saturday, June 1st. A packed grandstand on hand for this one. We will have all the highlights coming for you of this 50 laps coming up next on Inside Oswego Speedway. The fastest racing action in Central New York continues through the month of June. Saturday, June 29th, the road to the championship rolls on for the Novelis Super Modified Series. Presented by R.J. Caruso Tax and Accounting and C's Farm Market and Beverage Center. Plus, the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series takes on the Steel Palace. For more information, visit online at OswegoSpeedway.com. The road to the championship continues. Presented by R.J. Caruso Tax and Accounting and C's Farm Market and Beverage Center. Kids 16 and under free with paid adult. Inside Oswego Speedway is brought to you by Novelis. Not just aluminum, Novelis aluminum. Pathfinder Bank, local community trust. Eagle Beverage, we bring the beer to you. Oswego Bike Fest, riding, rocking, and racing Oswego Speedway. And by Best Western Plus Quality Inn and Suites of Oswego. The first Novelis Super Modified main event on Saturday night would be the full 50 laps from the Best Western Plus Quality Inn and Suites night back on June 1st, with Cody Graham and Pat Lavery up there in row number 1, and of course the story all week long. Could Lavery finally come through and pick up his first main event win? Well, early on, it looked like it may be tough going for Lavery, as he would early on slip back to the number 2 spot behind Graham in the 21. And Graham has proved throughout the years that he is tough to beat when he is out in front of the field, and early on that was certainly the case. Lavery, lap after lap, would try to make the high side move on Graham, going into corner number 3 to take the top spot, with Sean Goslin in the Green's Ale House, car number 26, right there in third, trying to take advantage, but he was unable to do so. Lavery in the 22 tucking back into line behind the 21 of Graham one more time here up through the halfway point. Lavery could get a great run going into corner number 3, but Graham was just simply too strong. On the bottom side, coming out of corner number 4, Lavery would have to settle back into second ahead of Goslin in the 26. Otto Sitterly in the 7 machine, now making his way to the outside of the 55 of Keith Champagne. Dave Gruhl and Michael Barnes tucked in there just behind, as it didn't take long for the front runners to begin to move their way through lap traffic. Caution would wave early on in this one for the 01 of Danny Connors, the 56 of Hal LaTulip, and the 52 of Dave Danzer. They would all run into trouble out of corner number 2 to bring out the yellow lights. On the restart, single file once again, 1 through 4, with Graham and Lavery out in front, but further on back, Dave Gruhl and Michael Barnes begin to mount a charge as the 55 of Champagne runs into problems. Champagne, who had ran good through the early portion of the race up into the top 5, would pull the Chris Osetic-built machine into the pit lane. Meanwhile, back in front, it was still a single file battle with Lavery trying to find the edge on Graham going into corner number 3, and it was clear that lap traffic may play a key role in this one as they roll up behind the 0 of Timmy Snyder and the 07 of the hitman Tony Steiner. Goslin would slip a little bit high. Sitterly would roll by onto the inside into corner number 4 as they work into corner number 1 and down the back straightaway. Graham clearly struggling with trying to make his way through the lap traffic. Lavery now looks as though he has the momentum he needs, but Snyder slips up the speedway, gives Graham the low side. Graham able to make his way by the 0. Next they would have to work the 07 of Steiner in the same position going into corner number 3, and this time Lavery had Graham sitting right where he wanted him. As he rolls to the outside into the apex of 3 and 4, Graham gets stuck behind the Steiner number 07, and you've got a new race leader. Pat Lavery, after starting on the outside of row number 1, running second for the majority of this race, works his way to the outside, takes the top spot, and he would immediately check away to nearly a full straightaway lead as Otto Sitterly next works to the inside of Graham in the number 21. So now up front, 1 and 2, you have your championship rivals from 2012 running out in front of this one. Dave Gruhl, Michael Barnes, Sean Goslin now trying to work onto the back bumper of the 21 of Graham, your defending Mr. Super Modified champion. But Graham in the 21 would put his hand in the air. He pulls to the pits into corner number 3 and drops out of this one. That moves the 99 of Barnes, the 50 of Gruhl, the 26 of Goslin, and the 00 of Gosick one spot further up in this one, but they were clearly out of touch from your race leader, Pat Lavery, right here in the number 22, and the 7 of Sitterly further back. However, caution lights would come on as Steiner loses the handle out of corner number 4, manages to keep the car going, but the caution would wave. And just like that, Pat Lavery, who looked to have this one all wrapped up, would have to deal with a restart, and your defending champion and a feature winner this season, Otto Sitterly, right there onto his back bumper. But Lavery, he was not going to be headed on this one as he checks away from Sitterly on the restart, with Barnes riding in 3rd, Gruhl in 4th, in the number 50 as Pat Lavery, after many, many years of trying, over 15 years behind the wheel of a super modified, 36 career top 5 finishes, now 37, and his first career Novelis super modified main event win at Oswego Speedway over Otto Sitterly, Michael Barnes, Dave Gruhl, and Sean Goslin with a great top 5 run in the number 26 machine. As Lavery, as we said, after years of trying in front of a packed house and a lot of well-wishers, Lavery climbs out from behind the wheel and immediately gets a well-wish and a big hug from one of his co-owners, Bob Hofer, in Turning Stone Resort Casino, Victory Lane.
Didn't know if it was ever gonna come. It's been a long time. Appreciate these guys sticking with me for this long. I knew I could do it, and they did too. I don't know, just lost the words here. Well, I knew I was getting into the corner a little bit better than Cody, but he was coming out a lot better than me, so somehow I had to get him to slow down coming out, and with the lap car there, I thought if I could get alongside of him, I could slow him down coming out, and that's just about how it happened. Got lucky. This is what I've worked at for the last 20 years. Been a long time coming. This is for my mom, who I lost a month ago. I don't know what to say.
Congratulations to Pat, Hope, Billy, all those guys. Long overdue, of course. Everybody knew it was coming. Now he'll probably rattle off about 6 of them here in the next couple of years, but excellent job to those guys. You know, it's a little bit of a crapshoot what it's going to do during the day. You know, we don't race a lot of day features, and you know, we were good. I mean, but they're really fast, and we were a little tight for us, but no excuses. They beat us.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I could run by myself, but as far as trying to make a move and trying to get by anybody was pretty tough. You know, the thing was real good in, but we were a little loose off, and our car was just kind of skating around. Our car usually doesn't really like the daytime. We're, you know, but once the sun gets out of here and it cools off, that's where, you know, I really like to run. So, but I'm really happy. 3rd place, we survived. We get to run later tonight. I just want to thank my sponsors, Lavery Welding, JWJ, Lighthouse Lanes, Scribe Meats. You know, without all them guys, we couldn't do it. And you know, the crews been busting their butt getting this thing running.
At last, Pat Lavery gets to enjoy the spoils of Victory Lane at Oswego Speedway. We'll be back with more next, right here on Inside Oswego Speedway. The fastest race racing action in Central New York continues through the month of June. Saturday, June 29th, the road to the championship rolls on for the Novelis Super Modified Series. Presented by R.J. Caruso Tax and Accounting and C's Farm Market and Beverage Center. Plus, the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series takes on the Steel Palace. For more information, visit online at OswegoSpeedway.com. The road to the championship continues, presented by R.J. Caruso Tax and Accounting and C's Farm Market and Beverage Center. Kids 16 and under free with paid adult. Inside Oswego Speedway is brought to you by Novelis. Not just aluminum, Novelis aluminum. Pathfinder Bank. Local community trust. Eagle Beverage. We bring the beer to you. Oswego Bike Fest. Riding, rocking, and racing Oswego Speedway. And by Best Western Plus Quality Inn and Suites of Oswego. Well, after a full slate of qualifying events, our next round of feature events would hit the Speedway, presented by Century 21 Galloway Realty. And the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series would be the first to hit the Fast 5/8 mile with teammates Mark Castilla and Cameron Rowe up there on row number 1. Andrew Schartner and Timmy Garou would start in the second row, and it would be Castilla, your winner from back on May 11th, pulling out into the early race lead. He pulled Schartner with him. Rowe tucks into third. Timmy Garou in fourth. Jack Patrick rounding out the top 5 right now ahead of Craig Harris and the 13 of Russ Brown, looking to start to work to the outside of the Speedway ahead of the number 3 machine of Chris Proud, who has a brand new built machine, and he's had that car running very good here in the last 2 weeks that he has had it at the Speedway. As they work down the backstretch into corner number 3, Brown trying to find his way by the 04 of Harris. Tried it one more time going into corner number 3 as Patrick moves to the inside of Garou, but unfortunately behind for Brown. Proud would find the left rear wheel of the number 13 machine, causing a bit of a jam up here in corner number 4. Both Proud and Brown would have to go to the tail side of the field. On the restart, after bad luck for the 13 machine, there'd be a run of bad luck for the 74 of Mike Bond, with a rear end issue causing a lot of smoke to come off of the right rear corner of that car. Bond would eventually spin that machine in corner number 2. The yellow lights would come on. He would head to pit lane, but Bond would later on be out of this one. Lap number 17 up front, J.J. Andrews and A.J. Burness doing battle. The 93 would spin going into corner number 1, collecting the 24 as well. And on the restart, that would set it up one more time for Harris to try and make a move on the 9 of Patrick as Castilla and Schartner continue to lead the way. But as you can see behind, the 77 of Rowe runs into issues in corner number 4. Once again, we got another situation where a yellow flag came in to sort of save the day, as further behind, Pitcher and Brown make contact going into corner number 1. Russ would lose the handle. He sits facing the wrong direction once again. Would have to restart at the tail side of the field. That bunched the field up one more time. Schartner again trying to give chase to the 67 of Castilla. It seems like these two are together quite a bit. You remember their epic battle in the King of Wings event 1 year ago. Castilla would win that one. As Jack Patrick moves to the inside of the 17 of Garou, Harris would make his way through, as well as the deuce of Robbie Pullen in the Pullen's Plumbing car number 2. But out in front, leading all 30 laps of this one for win number 2 of 2013, Mark Castilla gets the top spot in number 67 ahead of Schartner. Patrick in the top 3, Craig Harris and Rob Pullen would round out the top 5 ahead of Timmy Garou and Brian Sobis in car number 6.
I got to thank Denise Merrill for letting me drive for her this year. Dan Denny, he's awesome. He works in this car all week. I couldn't do it without him. I was kind of down yesterday, and Cameron Rowe and Jason Simmons, they picked me back up. I was really frustrated with it, and it just wasn't running right. It was a handful, and they just said, stick with it, and you'll got it. Yeah, I seen them on the board there, and these tires they're spent. There's just no more laps on them, and I felt them there. Got to thank her for running me clean, but I was doing all I could to hang on to it. It was a handful.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be running good. I mean, with the way the car ran in the first feature, it was embarrassing. We didn't have anything at all. We were chasing a camber problem. We didn't realize it. We were adjusting the chassis and just threw the car way out of whack. But a testament to my guys. We turned the thing around and ended up second. And special thanks to Ukrainian National Club, Beaver River Distribution, Arnold's, all them guys for helping us out along to get me up here.
Yeah, we finally put things together tonight. I want to thank my crew, Don, Jody, and Rusty and Karen for all their work this week. We did a lot of work to the car this week, and it paid off. We found some bad parts on it from the crash a couple weeks ago, and I got to thank my sponsors, Longley Dodge, Red Baron Pizza, Van Loo Septic for all their help. And yeah, we've had a rough year up till this point. This was a long time coming, getting here back on the podium. It feels pretty good.
Dalton Doyle would come on through the field for the D&S Landscaping Hard Charger Award on Saturday night with Mike Bruce once again, your Nice Price Auto Sales up-and-comer. Craig Harrith came home with the White's Car Care 4th place award, while Mark Castilia would lead all the laps to be the Sherwood Racing Wheels lap leader. Russ Brown still the championship point leader by 13 points now over the 04 of Craig Harrith. Dalton Doyle moves up into 3rd ahead of Jason Simmons, and J.J. Andrews rounding out the top 5 in the SBS division. The Nightcap on Saturday night, the Century 21 Galloway Realty 50-lap main event for the Novelis Super Modified division once again would see Cody Graham in the number 21 up there on the front row. He was joined by the Zero Hero of Timmy Snyder, as Tim Devendorf and Danny Connors Jr. right back there in row number 2 as the field does battle down the back straightaway and into corner number 3 with Jerry Kern and Brandon Bellinger not far behind as well, 2 by 2 by 2 through the field. But unfortunately for the 55 of Keith Champagne, he spun it out of corner number 4. Then the 35 of Jeff Holbrook would spin in corner number 1, as well as the number 51 machine of Michael Muldoon. All 3 cars would be able to rejoin the field. Champagne in the 55, Holbrook the 35, and Muldoon in the 51. Yellow lights came on early on in this one. On the restart, Graham in the 21 once again would check away from the field, running very good in clean air out there in that Extreme Chassis number 21. He would leave Timmy Snyder, Danny Connors, and Tim Devendorf back there further on in his wake. Jerry Curran in the 24 right there, as well as the 52 of Dave Danzer slips a little bit high in corner number 1, and that would allow the 00 of Joe Gosick to move by and gain another position. And keep in mind, Gosick, Sitterly, and Barnes in the 99, the 3 drivers locked in a championship battle at the front of the field. Later on, Pat Lavery, your winner in the opener, would try to make an inside move on the 24 of Jerry Kern, but the 2 cars would touch. Going into that first corner, Lavery hard into the outside foam. The 7 of Sitterly would be collected as well. He had tail damage on that car, had to go to pit lane and restart at the tail of the field. So now Sitterly was going to be in a mad dash to try to get back to the front of this field as Jerry Curran in the 24 machine works to the outside of the 5 of Tim Devendorf, with Sean Goslin looking to do the same in the number 26 machine. Remember, Goslin had a 5th place finish in the opener today, looking to make it 2 top 5s in a row in the number 26 machine as he again gets a good bite. Going into corner number 1 and working around the outside of Devendorf down the back chute, with Bellinger and Gosick just about 3 car lengths behind. Graham again out of the picture because he's simply running away with this one, as now Goslin looks to the inside of Curran into corner number 3, moves Sean Goslin up into position number 4. Goslin started all the way back in row number 4, doing a great job to work his way through the field here early on. Snyder in the 0, still riding in second. Goslin now makes the inside move on Connors into corner number 1. So Goslin has passed on the outside. He's passed to the low side in 3 and the low side in corner number 1, making moves all over the speedway to try and chase down Snyder in the 0 and your race leader, Cody Graham in car number 21. Meanwhile, Sitterly in the 7 car beginning to work his way back through the field as he gets around Randy Ritzkis and the Jeff Locke number 37, as well as the 60 of Timmy Jedrzak, with Goslin now moving into the runner-up spot in the 26 as he works to the inside of Snyder in the 0, pulling Joe Gosick along with him. The veteran Gosick chasing the up-and-comer Goslin through the field. Graham would eventually run into some lap traffic in that number 21 machine, pulling up behind the back bumper of the 23 of Clayton Brewer III, and that let everybody in the grandstands know that Goslin was on a mission in the 26 machine as he pulls up to the back bumper of Graham. But the 21 car, after making a little bit of contact with Brewer down into that 3rd corner, was able to clear the traffic, once again getting out into clean air. And just like that, Graham would pull about another 4 or 5 car lengths over the 26 of Goslin, running comfortably out in front. Sitterly was able to make a low move on Danzer in the 52 into corner number 3, but unfortunately for the Oswego driver, he got shoved to the outside up into the gray, and Danzer finds the steal out there in corner number 4. You get another look at it. Danzer just not enough room up there on the top side of the speedway, and once you get that rubber up into that gray area of the racetrack, it's really hard to keep control. Danzer, who started the year with consecutive top 5 finishes, would DNF in both features on Saturday night. On the restart, Graham again would pull away, but Michael Barnes, after starting all the way back in position number 18, the number 99 car stayed consistent, and he works his way up into a podium position, was unable to chase down Gosselin in the 26 for the runner-up spot, and obviously nobody had anything for Graham in the Nightcap on Saturday night as he gets his second career Novelis Supermodified main event win, with Sean Gosselin coming home in second, Michael Barnes in third, Gosick in fourth. Sitterly would charge all the way back through the field to finish in the top 5 positions, along with Tim Snyder finishing in position number 6, his best run of the 2013 season, as Cody Graham climbs out from behind the wheel.
I give it up to these guys. Since the opener, we've been fighting gremlins left and right. And today, we weren't too bad in the first one, but the toe got knocked down. We weren't too bad, so I decided to pull it in instead of wrecking me and the rest of the field. And we've just been battling week after week. We finally got it. Absolutely. And, with the field like this, you got to be on your A game. Obviously, starting up front helps as always, because, you don't want to have to pass all those guys. And clear track is the best thing. You don't want to have anyone in front of you, but car was great. I mean, it was a little snug the whole way through, and towards the end it started to go away a little, and I was just hoping I could hold them off. I don't know if they were close tonight, but it was a car.
Yeah, Cody was just a little bit too fast in the open track. I needed a lot of traffic to have a chance at him, but I mean, congratulations to those guys. They were in a good race, and it was fun coming back from a little bit farther back. Got to play with some traffic. It was good. It was good in the first feature, and we got banged around a little bit and got shuffled back, but it was better in this one, and I could, put the car where I wanted to put it. So
we weren't good in the heat, and had to start 18th, and get back up to third was pretty good. Knocked the right part of the right front wing out, and I got into the back of Holdwork. I think he got squirrely out of 4, and the thing got a real push through the center out, and we just guys started getting worse, and going in, it actually helped my car going in and through the center, but coming out I was really hurt, and that's why I couldn't catch the guys at the end. I think if the wing would have stayed in one piece, we might have had a shot at them too at the end.
Checking out the Novelis Supermodified Series standings, Barnes still your championship leader by only 5 points now over Otto Sitterly. Joe Gosick stands third, 12 points behind. Sean Gosselin up to fourth, with Michael Muldoon rounding out the top 5. The fastest racing action in Central New York continues through the month of June. Saturday, June 29th, the road to the championship rolls on for the Novelis Supermodified Series. Presented by R.J. Caruso Tax and Accounting and C's Farm Market and Beverage Center. Plus, the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series takes on the Steel Palace. For more information, visit online at OswegoSpeedway.com. The road to the championship continues, presented by R.J. Caruso Tax and Accounting and C's Farm Market and Beverage Center. Kids 16 and under free with paid adults.